Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Tokusatsu, taking the form of many shows including Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Metal Heroes. And today, a group of fans come together to review it for you as Toku Secrets.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Toku Secrets podcast presented by animesecrets.org. I'm your host, Nathan Nassau. Today, we are celebrating 30 years of the Power Rangers franchise. We take a look at the Netflix exclusive movie Once and Always, anniversary special for the Power Rangers series that started it all, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which aired almost 30 years ago in 1993. And we have the whole crew here today, and when I say whole, I do mean whole, and some people who normally don't review with us. I am your host, Nathan Nassau, Boken Silver, and I'll let the rest of the crew introduce themselves. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Pat Shinkenred here.
Aye, it's Rizwan Gokai Red.
All right.
Hey, it's the more phenomenal crew here. It's Anthony Davis. I am Kyoyu Green.
And I appear when I feel like it.
It's like how Deca Master only shows up when he feels like it.
That's right.
and who the heck are you?
That's why they call me Hell's Guard Dog.
Sorry, I don't know who you are. Who are you?
My name's Frankie. Hi.
Good. Okay.
Hi.
So, as I just said, we are reviewing Once and Always, the 30th anniversary special for the Power Rangers franchise. I think, I don't know if we posted it or not. I do remember that Riz, Anthony, and I tried to do like a video talking about some news with it, but then the audio got screwed up, and then we just never got a chance to re-record it. But we were talking about it when news was leaked about some of the people who were returning. So with that said, before we talk about the plot, we do want to talk a little bit about some of the people who are returning, because naturally with celebrating 30 years, it's important to bring back a lot of the other actors. So two big ones to come back are Walter Jones, who played Zach Taylor, the original Black Ranger. So this is the first time that Zach has appeared since he originally left the show in the Power Transfer. But this is the first time that we've seen Walter Jones actually play Zach in the episode Opposites Attract. That was like 2 episodes after Tommy became the White Ranger, after which they were doing stuff with stock footage, like pretending that Jason Trini and Zach were there. Now we have had Walter Jones return for some things. He was in a Lost episode, like an episode where they basically where he and Austin St. John recapped the whole show. He voiced one of the Machine Empire generals, the green one, those Big Bad Beetleborgs knockoffs.
The Green Beetleborg. Yeah.
David Yost returns to play the original Blue Ranger, Billy Cranston. This is the first time that he has appeared since he left the show in Zio's Rangers of Two Worlds. And it's also the first time that David Yost has portrayed him since King for a Day, since after King for a Day, there were like 3 episodes where Billy just wasn't around. Nobody even mentioned him. And then all of a sudden in Rangers of Two Worlds, they have Billy come back, but he's played by an old man. And then when they actually show Billy restored to his age, they just use stock footage and use an excuse that their communicator is screwed up, so his voice sounds nothing like it should.
Yeah, that was rough to listen to back in the day.
Mm.
And the other returning people, we have Steve Cardenas returning as Rocky DeSantos, the second Red Power Ranger. I've actually seen him recently. He did appear in one of the more recent anniversary specials, Dimensions in Danger. We actually... Go ahead, Frankie.
That was the most recent anniversary special before this, wasn't it?
I think so. We reviewed that on our DigiRanger channel, too, at the time.
Yeah.
Catherine Sutherland returns as Catherine Hiller, the second Pink Power Ranger. She also returned in Dimensions in Danger, although she was using her pink turbo powers instead.
That was random to me.
And we also get cameos from Johnny Bosch and Karen Ashley, who return as Adam and Aisha, the second Black and Yellow Rangers. Although, unlike Rocky and Kat, they don't morph. They just have brief cameos. We have seen Adam return again. He appeared in as Adam again with his Black Ranger powers in Once a Ranger, aka the only good thing to come out of Operation Overdrive. But we haven't seen Aisha since she left the show on a hot day afternoon. So that's big. Now, the other 5 original Rangers, Jason, Kimberly, Trini, and Tommy. So unfortunately, Trini literally can't be on there because her actress is no longer with us, and we'll talk more about that later. Same with Tommy. We literally did a whole podcast dedicated to Jason David Frank's memory. Jason and Kimberly aren't there. Yes. They only appear morphed only, and they use archived audio to voice them. I do remember this one line where Trini is like shouting out for Billy. That line specifically comes for High Five, second episode. Other than that, we see some other. So the plot of this is that Robo Rita captures a bunch of Rangers and they get shrunken down to Hasbro Lightning Collection figures.
Is it actually the Lightning Collection figures?
Yep.
Oh my god. That's funny.
The Rangers that
you know what they did though? They basically painted over like the like articulated appendages and like just painted over them.
That's really funny, actually.
Yeah.
The Rangers that we see captured are Anya and her Dio Ranger 2 Yellow, the Phantom Ranger, Carlos Valerte and his Black Space Ranger, Ashley Hammond and her Yellow Space Ranger, Leo Corbett, the Red Galaxy Ranger, Damon Henderson, the Green Galaxy Ranger, Kai Chin, the Blue Galaxy Ranger, Merrick Balaton, the Lunar Wolf Wild Force Ranger, Connor McKnight, the Red Dino Ranger, Trent Fernandez, the White Dino Ranger, Devin Daniels, the Red Grid Battle Force Ranger, Ravi Shah, the Blue Grid Battle Force Ranger, and Nate Silva, the Gold Grid Battle Force Ranger. Now, other returning people, we have Barbara Goodson, who returns to voice Rita Repulsa. Well, okay, not literally Rita Repulsa, but like a revived version of her, which we'll get to in a second. The last time she voiced Rita Repulsa, if I'm not mistaken, is in Countdown to Destruction. Unless, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think she did. I don't think she did her Mystic Force, did she? I don't think that was her.
No, Barbara Goodson didn't voice her in Mystic Force.
No.
And then we got Richard Horvitz, who returns to play. He plays the newer versions of Alpha 8 and Alpha 9. He was Alpha's voice actor for Alpha 5 and from season 1 to Turbo. And he also had one brief line as Alpha 7 in Forever Red. Unfortunately, we don't see Bulk and Skull here, but we do see a billboard with them for like 2 seconds, which was funny. In a weird cameo, we have a character from Dino Fury. There's one of Amelia's co-workers, Annie. She appears doing a news report on Buzz Blast, which is the news company that Amelia works for.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
I knew that. I actually had to look that up. Like, I knew that Buzz Blast was a thing from Dino Fury. I just didn't realize that was actually a character from Dino Fury.
Yeah, I looked up as well, and that was one of the things I realized is, oh, that's Annie. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is the whole returning cast.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I was really hyped to at least see Billy and Zach, since we haven't seen them. Literally the last time that these people were literally around was before I was even born. So
Zach, I was really excited for because again we haven't seen him since 1994.
Well, the thing with Zach is also This is the first time we see Walter on screen with literally anyone not named David Yost.
Oh my, yeah.
Because he never met Adam, he never met Rocky, he never met Aisa.
Catherine,
yeah. So
I mean, I guess technically, if like, okay, maybe not when Walter Jones was playing him, but like
the character did meet them.
Yeah. He just didn't interact with them that much.
Oh no, it's very obvious from the special. When we get into it, we'll talk about it more. But it's very obvious that when the Mighty Morphin crew disbanded, when Zeo became a thing, they somehow regained their powers and they remained, at the very least, a reserve Ranger team.
Well,
they may not have been active duty, but they were at least around as reserves. And you can see that with Legendary Battle and Super Mega Force. You can also see that in the Beast Morphers Dino special. I forget the name of it right now. But
Great Connection.
That one. Yeah. So definitely they're still active. They're still around as reserve, if not active. I don't know what they are, but
well, the thing about Power Rangers is powers get destroyed and then repurposed all the time. Like, yeah.
Well, and that kind of thematically fits into literally the title of this movie, Once and Always. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger, right? Like,
don't mention Once a Ranger in my presence.
It's just saying, you person, you.
I know what you wanted to say.
But I think there's a perfect explanation on how the Dino, like, okay, if they were using the ninja.
Okay, go say.
I was about to say, if there's an explosion after you say that, I'm gonna laugh.
But I do think that there is, like, you know, explanations on how they have the Dino coins, because the Dino coins weren't destroyed. Like, we literally see Adam carrying around one of his destroyed morphers in space, so they probably repaired them at some point.
Well, they say, because in Beast Morphers, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they remake Jason's coin in Beast Morphers?
No, the grid gave it back to him, basically.
But he already had it in Forever Red, didn't he?
Yeah.
So why did he lose it at whatever?
No, he didn't lose it, but like he had it, and I don't know. It's weird.
It's a stupid meteorite. It just doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
You can easily make the speculation that Billy and Alpha just remade the power coins. Boom.
Maybe or maybe this is just one of another acts of Master Green.
That could be.
Yeah.
Because she does everything.
Apparently.
I mean, personally, I saw a fan theory. This was way back. I probably can't find it anymore, but it was on like some obscure discussion board where like some person suggested that when Zordon was destroyed and the Z-Wave hit, that like a side effect was that it destroyed any damage that it restored any damage that might have been done to the morphing grid. And maybe that's what helped, like, restore the original power coins. I like to think that's like my little headcanon.
That's not a bad theory, to be honest. Because that would explain why TJ had his turbo powers in Forever Red.
Oh, I mean, in Forever Red, I always just thought, like, if Storm Blaster can restore Justin's powers, then Lightning Cruiser can do it for TJ.
I mean, that's not an incorrect theory. It might be plausible. That's something you'll never get a answer to.
Yeah, but, I mean, the short answer is that the Dino coins were never physically destroyed, so it's obviously not impossible for those things to get repaired. So that's how they can still have the Dino coins. Now, if they have the Ninja coins, which we specifically saw get destroyed right in front of our faces, then we have a problem. But
yeah, they never bring back the Ninja coins ever.
No, yeah, they're gone. They're reduced to atoms.
Yeah. The only other thing, we were kind of speculating on this for a while. Get some pretty not so subtle nods to SPD. Apparently, Adam and Aisha have joined an organization called SPA. They're stationed on the planet Sirius, battling against the Trubian Empire. Sirius, for those who don't remember, is the homeworld of Doggy Kruger, the Shadow Ranger, and it was invaded by the Truvian Empire, who are the main villains of SPD. So I'm guessing Adam and Aisha were part of the original SPD, but then that makes me question: did they die in the Battle of Sirius?
I was talking to my brother about that earlier. Actually, I was like, "Are Adam and Aisha canonically dead?"
I don't think they died. I think the entire Space Patrol family of organizations is big enough that they were still active during SPD, but they were doing something else.
And maybe
Yeah.
Adam and Aisha just weren't on that, didn't make it to the battle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe Robo-Rita saved them from getting killed in that battle.
Oh my god, Robo. Oh jeez.
Before we get into the plot, just a couple of other things. We actually hear what some of these Rangers have been doing since the end of the show. Zach was apparently a congressman for a while. He had to retire by the time of the movie to do something else that we'll talk about in a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Can you guys see Zach in politics?
No.
You know, I can. And here's why.
To see the Obama of the Power Rangers universe?
No. Of the 5 OGs, he was the most sociable and the most well-liked, in my opinion.
That is true.
You're talking about in universe, right?
In universe. So he had the charisma to be like that. You know, like a political figure and wanting to do good for the world. And then if you also factor in his character literally left to go to the perpetual never-ending World Peace Conference.
I just said that.
He probably ended up, you know, a politician after the fact. When the thing finally ended.
Right.
It's an ongoing joke between me and a couple of people that I know online that the World Peace Conference just went on forever.
The comics did a better job of doing the peace conference, quote unquote.
Hey, listen, all I'm saying, Jason was able to lead the peace conference in Zio. So
I said that comics did a better job of having them lead for the peace conference, quotation marks.
Yeah. Omega Protocol activated.
Right.
Apparently, Billy has become the Power Rangers version of Tony Stark. He owns his own. He owns his own technology company called Cranston Technologies, which is like a worldwide tech company that's apparently become big, and it's apparently big enough for him to build a new command center in the basement of company headquarters, where he is trying to revive Zordon. So yeah, Billy is basically the Power Rangers' own very own Tony Stark.
If Billy's Tony Stark, then who's Thanos?
Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Cosmic Fury.
It's coming. It's all connected, man.
He also apparently remade the Rad Bug.
Yeah.
Which was a
Can I mention an Easter egg here that I don't know if y'all caught on to?
What's that?
So, if you look at the command center in that opening shot when we first see it, there's a logo on the top of the command center. That logo belongs to Hyperforce.
Yeah,
you're a nerd.
Wow, I did not even catch that.
Yeah, someone pointed that out when the first trailer dropped.
Yeah. So I'm a little interested on how that works out, but yeah, according to everything I've read online, that's the Hyperforce logo.
Hyperforce is canon, nerds, get used to it.
I mean, okay, so for those that don't know, Hyperforce is a Saban created tabletop game set in the Ranger universe, and they actually did a bunch of Twitch and YouTube streams with players playing through the tabletop, and they had a lot of former Ranger actors come back and do stuff like Aaron Cahill, JDF,
me,
yeah, Frankie. But yeah, so like they even have Paul Stryer he didn't come back and be Bulk. He was a new character, and he was actually Yellow Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
So
Andre,
after
wasn't
all
Andre
these
Ranger
years, Polly was finally a Ranger.
So cool.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it was just an interesting little tidbit I picked up that's the Hyperforce logo on top of the command center, which begs so many questions to me that I will one day do a podcast breaking down my most elaborate theory of all time on what's going on here.
Oh, speaking of Hyperforce, they're actually making a comic out of them.
Yep, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one in the group who's watched any of Hyperforce.
I
I've
watched
gone through like
I watched a little bit of it.
I try, but I can't do the format.
Anthony, what did you say?
I watched a little bit of it.
So I got through like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and it was pretty good. But my issue is just how much time it takes to get through it.
Yeah,
I legitimately forgot it existed until you mentioned.
That's why if they were talking about wanting to do an animated project for Power Rangers, like, well, just do that.
Yeah.
That would make the
Take
most
what-
sense.
Take what the story of Hyperforce and just turn it into a cartoon.
It'd be pretty awesome, honestly.
Be a more consumable way to watch it.
Then watching how long? Like several hour Twitch streams? No thanks, I'll pass.
Each
It's worth
episode's
it.
like 3 to 4 hours long.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't it like, what, 12 episodes or something, too?
I could play the entirety of
like 20.
Sonic Forces in that time.
Huh? How many?
I think it's like 20.
20. Oh, God. That's like a week. That's a week's worth.
This is why I stopped.
Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't like
I
the
think I
format.
stopped at episode 4 too. I think.
I think you could
I
play
stopped
all
at the right after the Halloween episode.
Really, I think I watched after that because that's when they actually morph like for the first time.
No, they morphed before that.
Did it? Because I
Yeah.
could have sworn that when they were in the Halloween costumes, that's when they first morphed.
Anyway, we'll do a Hyperforce video at some point. Back to whatever we're doing here.
I mean, with the other two, I already said what Adam and Aisha are doing. Rocky is a firefighter. That's it. Kat kind of confirmed something. So here's the funny thing. I don't know if it was in an interview that somebody else did or if it was Riz's interview with her. Maybe it was the interview you did with her, Riz, but you actually interviewed Catherine Sutherland after we reviewed Dimensions in Danger, and you said that episode was hinting that in Dimensions in Danger that she and Tommy were married and JJ is their son, and this movie confirms it. Catherine is married to Tommy, and they have a son named JJ. Now, unfortunately, we don't see JJ, but from what I know, he's a prominent character in the comics. I think he becomes the Green SPD Ranger.
So let me do a quick recap on that because I've read the comic. So the comic you're referring to is Soul of the Dragon. It's set 20-30 years after Dino Thunder, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it chronicles Tommy's last bout as a ranger before he fully retires.
Yep.
And the reason he's called to action one last time is because his son JJ, who is an SPD cadet, goes missing. And a lot of stuff happens, and old villains that we have not seen and many, many moons make an appearance. I'm not going to tell y'all who, because you got to go to damn comic to figure that out.
Right.
But it's basically at the end, JJ becomes SPD Green with a dragon shield from Mighty Morphin on his body to honor his dad.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. And it's also like the explanation comic of how the Master Morpher came to be and how it works.
Aren't they making a toy of that?
I want them to.
I think they said they are, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd actually probably buy it because there's no
I
official
would
map.
too.
I don't have the Lightning Collection Morpher, but I would buy that.
Yeah.
Just two other things about Kat. So she uses the pterodactyl coin. That was actually a big subject of discussion. They give an explanation that apparently Billy and Alpha duplicate the power coins, which makes sense because Kat technically used the pink powers. He also uses the power bow for the first time, which I really like because I always wished. I don't know. I think it always sucked how they stopped using the power weapons in season 3. So it was cool just to see.
Thank you.
Kat using the power bow.
Yeah, the only one
Yeah.
I remember seeing in season 3 at all was Saba.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they just didn't have props or something in the season. I don't know behind the scenes reasons for that, but when they pulled out the power weapons, I got excited.
Yeah.
Same.
That was
Oh
really.
yeah, definitely.
Look,
There's one other thing about this,
what's that?
but I'll wait till we get there.
Oh, okay.
I'll wait till we
Yeah.
get there. There's one other thing about Cat that bugs me, but we'll get there.
We want to jump into the plot now, guys?
Let's do it.
Right? So we're just gonna go over it. Just go over the basics. So we start off in the year 2022, which was last year, where the original Rangers, so Jason, Trini, Zach, Billy, Kimberly, and Tommy. Tommy's using his Green Ranger powers, by the way, which he has a Master Morpher, so he can use whichever powers he wants. So they're battling against Robo Rita, who was an evil robotic version of Rita that was accidentally created. Basically, Billy took some remnants of the Z-Wave, but unfortunately the evil that was destroyed in Rita gets reanimated into Robo Rita. And while the Rangers are battling Robo Rita, Trini gets killed. This special is starting off with a massive bang, isn't it? Trini is killed, and afterward, her daughter, whose name is Min, is left in the care of Billy and Zach. And then 1 year later, they continue battling against Robo Rita. Robo Rita captures Jason, Tommy, and Kimberly. She's using these two monsters that are robotic versions of classic Mighty Morphin monsters. Robo Minotaur, who was the monster from Teamwork, the first episode where they get the power weapons. And then Robo Snizzard. I remember Snizzard. I just can't remember the name of the episode he was in.
A foul play in the sky.
Oh, okay. So Robo Minotaur and Robo Snizzard, and she wants to capture many more Rangers and use their power to open up a time portal so she can travel back in time to before Zordon recruited the Rangers, and then she can kill them, which will allow. Basically, it's kind of like a Rancic tactic. Like, hey, if I can't rule the world now, I'll just go back in time to where I can rule the world in the past, and then I'll rule the world in the future. Like, it's a Rancic tactic, basically. And Rocky and Kat get recruited to help Billy and Zach fight. And but at the same time, Min is struggling with her own desire for revenge because she wants to kill Robo Rita for killing her mother. And pretty much the rest of the movie is just them battling against Robo Rita. Her forces, all of it leading up to a final battle where Min gets to don the Yellow Ranger suit in honor of her mother. And it's unfortunately pretty short. It's less than an hour long. But I'm gonna let the other guys chime in. Like, what did you guys think of the plot of this special? Anybody want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Nobody else wants to volunteer. I'll do it. Jeez. Okay, so. Okay, so. If we're coming from a personal perspective here, it just seemed like very run-of-the-mill Mighty Morphin stuff. Just, we're older now. Like, it was nothing crazy to write home about for me. I was just watching. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I thought some of the callbacks were nice. I like the I'm trying to put this. How do I put this gently? Someone else go. I need to get my phone.
Yeah,
I'm all over the place. I'm scrambling.
Yeah, I think you texted me the day after this came out, Frankie, and I think you and I kind of agreed on that assessment that it's not bad, but it just feels very safe.
It doesn't feel like special, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It just feels very run-of-the-mill, like, okay.
Yeah, no, I was going into it expecting it to be a little bit more grandiose, but it felt like just like a typical two-parter of a season. And
Yeah, no, I'm glad it took itself a little more seriously, because it was a little more mature.
Like, Min I thought was a really good character. I hope we see more of her later, though. But I think as an introduction to her character, it was really good. The one thing that I really want to bring up, because I feel like we're going to have to talk about this at some point. My God, the CGI for the Dino Megazord was awful.
Oh my God!
Like, the transformation sequence cool, and then it started moving. I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?"
I like that they're basing it on the Zap one because that's the one in stores right now.
Yeah.
But holy crap!
I was like, this is 1993 movie Ninja Megazord level bad.
And like, you know what bugged me about it the most? It didn't use its finisher attack. It just shanked it.
It did.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird as well that they didn't use the finisher move.
Because, I mean, they did a really good job of recreating all of the angles and animations that the Zoo Ranger footage had for Daijujin. But, my God, once that thing started moving on its own, I was like, I can't stop laughing at this thing.
You can't take it seriously. I think I would have honestly preferred a guy in a suit again.
I'm surprised that's not what they did. Is there no Daijujin suit for them to get a hold of or something?
They didn't have much time. They only had like what,
a month or two.
Also, not from a behind the scenes, from a continuity perspective, why the Dino Megazord?
Because it's more iconic.
Yeah.
I guess from a behind the scenes, but I mean in continuity, why the Dino?
Because because you gotta understand, Jason and Kimberly were the Rangers that used the Dino Megazord. So their team used that Uzi Zord. The Thunder Megazord and the Ninja Megazord and the Soga Megazord were more of a Rocky, Adam, Aisa, Catherine thing.
Well, Jason used the Thunder Megazord too.
He did.
Yeah, but like very briefly.
I think for half the season.
Was it half the season?
Yeah,
I think it was about half the season.
Yeah, it was half a season.
So he used the Thunder Megazord just as much as Rocky did.
But again, it comes down to what's more iconic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, the explanation could just be like, I don't know, like, I think like what happened like after the Thunder Zords were destroyed. Like, there's like a episode of Zeo. It's the episode where they use the Super Zeo Megazord for the first time, where Billy kind of establishes that they kind of scrapped some of the old Zords because in that episode they need Jason to go get a power booster from one of the old Zords. So maybe they like shipped like the scrap from the Thunder Zords off. So I kind of like to assume that maybe like Billy at some point with Cranston Tech, like maybe he just found the scrap and was able to restore the Dino Zords. I mean, Billy's a genius. So
I mean, they do mention that Billy and Alpha spent a couple of months getting the Saber-Tooth Tiger to work independent of a Yellow Ranger.
Actually, something about the plot I did like. There's something that never actually happened in Mighty Morphin. The Rangers actually did defeat Rita.
Yeah.
They never actually beat her in Mighty Morphin.
Nope.
No, they couldn't.
But here Zach just shoots her and she dies.
I wish they used the power
yeah.
blaster to do that.
That would have been awesome, actually.
It would have been. So on the fun side of this, because Frankie and Patrick are given the more gritty detailed stuff that I have an issue with the Megazord as well, and I can kind of see your opinion on this being not special from your perspectives, but I 100% disagree with that perspective from my personal POV here.
Well, before I let you continue, let me reword this. I think from a character perspective, it is pretty special. From a plot perspective, it didn't feel like it.
Boom.
Okay. And that's what I was going to hit on and berate you for.
Yeah.
Because 100% absolutely, these characters, oh my god, they all came back and they nailed everything.
To be honest with you, I love Billy and Zach in this.
Yes.
Couldn't really care less for Rocky and Catherine. They just seemed like they were there because they couldn't get Billy and Jason.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, okay, so I actually kind of prefer Rocky and Kat to Jason and Kimberly.
Really?
Sacrilege as it is to say, but
I can't agree with you on that one.
Honestly, it just felt like that they were there to fill out costumes.
Yeah, because I feel like this was written with Jason and Kimberly in mind, and when they couldn't get them, they got.
No, it felt like it was written to be a Zach Billy Min story, but they had to have red and pink there, so they were just there.
Yeah, you can't have one. You can't have only 3 MPR ratings. You have to have all 5. So.
Well, so I think because it's the 30th anniversary and we're talking about Mighty Morphin, it's fitting that you have one guy who was there in season 1, one that started in season 2, one that started season 3, one who was there through all 3 of them, and then one who's a brand new addition to the Mighty Morphin legacy.
I mean, that's a way to look at it. Oh, something I almost forgot. I mentioned earlier that there was something about Catherine that bugged me.
What?
When she's fighting the putties, she mentioned they still sound like turkeys. When did she fight putties?
Never.
Exactly.
Right. She only fought Tangas. Wow.
No, I caught that.
Good catch.
I was just like, when did you fight this? When did you fight putties?
Well, okay, no, actually, she did fight putties.
When did she fight putties?
When did she fight
Zio?
Did she fight putties?
Yes.
Zio?
Oh yeah, they did show it very
because they had the
briefly at
Tenga and the putties. Whenever Lord Zen and Rita did something, I don't remember what.
I don't remember
They were
putties
very.
Zio.
I'm about to look that up.
I think there were a very, very few amount of times that Putties and Tenga Warriors did show up in Zio, but it was.
I mean, they're definitely there in space again as well.
Remember Tengas in Zio when they were going after Jason when he was losing his powers in the last episode? I don't remember.
If you remember the scene where we have the RV and all that stuff on the moon with the moon crew, you can see Tengas and Putties carrying the suitcases in the background.
Okay, but that's not them fighting Rangers. That's just them trying to help them.
But later on, they also deployed the henchmen to fight the Rangers in their own plot.
I guess I'm gonna have to go back and look. It's been a while since
I don't know. I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit down and watch all of Zio just to figure out because I don't want to watch Zio again.
Isn't Zio like your second least favorite season?
Yes. I have a very, very large disdain for Zio.
And he's like, I'm not watching Zio again. You can't make me.
How do you like 40 episodes of filler?
I'm looking it up. There are no listings of putties in Zio. There's listings of putties from in space.
I remember seeing some putties fight Trey in Countdown to Destruction.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
But I just looked it up to make sure. I don't see any listings for putties in space. Or in Zeo, rather.
So, on the... Taking all that aside, like, all the little nitpicks, like, yeah, okay, Kat never saw putties before, that's fine. I think this movie wasn't, like, amazing story-wise, right? Like, it was really, like you said, run-of-the-mill, but
Yeah.
the best way to put it is how Catherine Sutherland put it in her Instagram post a while back. This is a love letter from the actors to the fans, giving us another look into their lives of where they are 30 years later and giving us a really big blast of nostalgia. And I think on that level, they did phenomenal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because seeing Zach and Billy back, man, that was worth it.
Yeah,
And then
especially with Billy being my favorite of the original Mighty Morphin Rangers.
Yeah. And, like, even referencing in the Bandora Protocol, Astro Megasip, Terra Vencer,
Turtle Cove, there's a bunch of places.
Yeah, it was just really... It was nice to see them pull together literally the 30 years of Power Rangers.
I'm glad it wasn't just... I mean, it was mainly Mighty Morphin, but it was the entire scope of the Power Rangers universe, except for,
because even Alpha in the first battle against the Putties, he calls out the rest of the Ranger teams around the world and says, "Hey, everyone power down now to avoid Snizzard."
Also, this is me being me. Why are those the two monsters they brought back?
I don't know. I don't understand.
That just seems so random.
So
I know why.
Why?
They're in the Lightning Collection.
Lightning Collection, yes, because they did not just announced Snizzard and Minotaur of Lightning Collection.
Yeah.
Okay, but why couldn't they have just made
like Goldar? Why would you bring back like Goldar?
Well, they brought back Goldar like last 2 years
they want
ago.
like Rito Repulso or
I'm not merchandising problem.
Oh my
They were
god,
like,
I would have killed for
like
Rito to
Snizzard,
come
like,
back.
Minotaur, like we got them in Lightning Collection now, so buy them, please.
I will say, if they brought back Rito, then my friends at the Power Trip podcast, one of the guys is named Nathan Marchand. Man, he would have gone ballistic to know that Rito's back, because that's like his favorite, like, not his favorite character, but like, so Frankie doesn't know this, but the rest of y'all know about the Power Ranger audio drama.
Yeah.
So Nathan is actually the voice actor for Rito. And in their podcast, The Power Trip, he'll have segments where he, quote unquote, gets knocked out, and he'll voice Rito on the podcast, and it is freaking hilarious.
This also, I would have liked maybe more of a lead into Cosmic Fury, because Zed is
They
the
did.
main villain of Cosmic Fury.
I think they did very steadily.
I've only seen it the one time. I have to watch it again, but I would like to see.
Okay, so I think the way they're leading into Cosmic Fury is at the end. Remember, Billy says, "Hey, Min, do you want a souvenir from Marino? Do you want a souvenir from Aquitar? I'm going back into space." There are rumors in the Ranger Twitter world that David Yost has a small role in Cosmic Fury. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to have a David Yost appearance at some point in Cosmic Fury.
I think that's been confirmed, actually.
It hasn't been confirmed.
I think another backing of that is that he mentioned, going back to Aquitar, the Alien Rangers have been heavily rumored to appear in Cosmic Fury also.
Yeah.
And they just got Lightning Collection figures.
Yeah, they did.
Well, so, okay, and like, the Aquitian Rangers are still active, and
they were never defeated or lost their powers or anything. They straight up won what they were doing. So.
Yeah. So it's very possible that maybe it's not Delphine, Orko, and Sester and all of them, but maybe it's like
The next
their
generation.
children or something.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It might just be suits. You might just see suits.
And I mean, that's fine. I wouldn't mind.
You could just
But
have
yeah, I
them
could see-
in a voice only thing. I mean, just have different voice actors.
Yeah.
I mean, the person who played Delphine, I forgot her name, but she's very active on social media. She'd probably come back to it.
She
Oh,
would
Raja,
if they asked
Raja's
her
a total
to.
sweetheart. I've met her. She's amazing.
Yeah, but she's also going through a lot of medical stuff right now.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they asked her and she had the time, she'd probably come back and do it.
I mean, okay, so let's be real here. I'm gonna throw a number out of my where. I would say 85% of the Ranger alumni would come back if they were asked.
Yeah.
Oh, also, this is just
Like,
I got it.
what?
I started tearing up at the end when I started playing the song.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
we all did. If you didn't, you're not a fan.
If you didn't, you're wrong because like that was my childhood hero. Oh man.
Yeah.
Feels.
So, to kind of go through my notes on things that I really liked, one thing that really stuck out to me, and honestly, it took me a while of thinking about it and a couple of viewings on and off to kind of decide what my thoughts were here. So the scene where Min is in the rad bug driving and she stops to help the couple. At first, when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is doing nothing. We're losing a good 2 minutes here on something that's completely unnecessary. Is not a callback to anything else in Mighty Morphin. It's just two random guys who are the casualty of the putty attack. Why are we wasting our time here? What is going on?
I felt that way too, actually.
And it finally hit me today, actually, when I was thinking about it, when I was making up my notes. The reason that scene exists is for David Yost, not as Billy, but David Yost. Because when he left the show, he left because of all the slurs against him being gay.
Ah.
So this is their way to pay homage to that and try and make right what was wrong. And I thought that was really powerful.
You say that again? Because I didn't hear it.
Okay. The gay couple that, Min helps in the movie.
Yeah.
That's a reference to David Yost and his troubles, like when he was going through all the bullying on set for being gay. Like that's them paying it back.
Oh, okay.
That's my thoughts on it.
That's not a bad way of looking at it. I just thought it showed Min actually helping people instead of being selfish. That's how I
And well, that's part of it, but also if you look at Ranger Twitter, which I know you don't look at it at all.
I don't know
but
that.
a lot of people in the LGBTQ community have been citing that as a really powerful moment because it gives another avenue of representation to their marginalized group of people.
I mean, maybe they feel that way. I'm not part of that community, so I don't know.
Right, but that's how they feel about it.
I mean,
And I mean, that was the first thing I saw afterwards, like people getting happy about it. I was like, okay, that's cool. I think that's pretty cool. But then when it hit me that this is also probably a David Yost tribute in a way, it really made it much more heavy to me.
I also heard that David Yost actually had like he basically when the producers and like the people screen people like he was like telling them like hey like giving his thoughts and his like stuff like hey we should do this instead of this blah blah blah. And of course that frustrated him because it frustrated the producers or whatever. I think I saw this interview with him and Walter. They were doing an interview for Screen Rant, and he discussed about this because like he really wanted the special to be good, and I really think that like because his input was in there is why the special was good as the way it was.
Oh yeah, 100%. So David Yost had been penning a script for a 30th, not a 30th anniversary, but like it's a reunion of Mighty Morphin for a couple of years now, and that was going to be called Quantum Continuum, and it was going to be a Netflix special for about 6 or 8 episodes, and he pitched it to Hasbro. Hasbro said, "Hey, we can't do that. It's too much, but we'll give you a movie." So David, I think, was very involved in that creative process. It's not the same story as Quantum Continuum, I think. I've read a little bit of the first script that he released, but he definitely had a lot of input on it.
I feel like too, if Saban still owned Power Rangers, the special wouldn't have been made.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. They would not have made it.
No, definitely not.
And if they made it, they would have butchered it. It would not have been worth it.
I think because people like to dog on Hasbro right now, I think they care more about the franchise than Saban ever did.
No, I don't know who you're talking about. Dogs and Hasbro. Everyone loves Hasbro, from what I can tell.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
You.
Not the toy collectors, but
yeah, the toy collectors hate Hasbro.
Well, okay, I don't blame them because of all the
I don't
defects
blame
in
them
the
either,
toy
'cause-
line.
As someone who collects
But-
Transformers and some PR stuff, they treat Transformers so much better than Power Rangers.
Okay,
Man,
but the amount of care that they're putting into Power Rangers. I mean, look at Beast Morphers and Dino Fury.
Well, no, the show-wise, they're doing a lot better than Saban.
Like,
oh yeah,
I think that's more important.
The way they did the Evox story and Beast Morphers, and the way they did all the Morphing Master and lore building in Dino Fury. I mean, dude, these guys in Hasbro, they care. And I'm going to take a second here to get on a soapbox. So, Patrick, I'm sorry. Simon Bennett and his team get too much hate for my like.
Yeah, they do.
Simon Bennett is the executive producer, and I have seen so much hate coming out against him, against Amy Jo Johnson, against the writers, Becca and Alwyn, for not doing X, Y, and Z, for not giving us this, for not giving us that, or for Amy Jo Johnson not coming back. I'm like, dude, okay, calm down.
right.
Simon Bennett literally delivered to us a product that you would never gotten with Saban or with Disney. He truly cares for the franchise, and he wants to give us the best he can. And honestly, he did, because I'll tell you right now, and Nathan and Anthony can back this up because I've told him before. I've been a Power Rangers fan all my life. I've had periods where I've kind of dropped out of it for a bit, and I came back. Most notably, I came back when we were all together the first time for Otaku Sentai Disney Ranger, and we started doing the Power Ranger reviews. But then I fell off again. Kind of. I mean, I watched the seasons as they came out, but
you're better than me.
But I wasn't very into it like I used to be. It was just more like a chore, because the Neo Saban stuff was just terrible to me.
Oh my! The only Neo Saban that's kind of tolerable is Dino Charge.
But when I started watching Beast Morphers, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But it wasn't until Dino Fury Season 2, Part 2, that I was like, oh my god. They really went all in, and they really, really killed it.
What if the next season is a Tokuger adaptation?
It won't be. It won't be.
It's gonna happen now. I'm calling it.
If it happens, that'll be fine. I'm not gonna be mad about it. I would actually be okay with it.
Wait,
but they were not gonna do it.
What do what?
Tokuger adaptation.
If they haven't done it now, they probably won't do whatever.
That's what we said about Ghostbusters too.
They're gonna do Kira Major before they do Tokuger.
I want it to be Zenkaiser.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that would be hilarious.
Zenkaiser would be very entertaining to watch. I agree. But back to my big point here. In the last 4 or 5 years, I was kind of just kind of there, watching along, not really caring. But when you started to see Dino Fury and the callbacks to Lord Zed, the attention to detail in the story to Morphing Masters and all that stuff, that's when I started to feel like, okay, Hasbro is treating us right as a fandom. Hasbro is trying their level best to get us back into it and to bring this to not MCU level of greatness, but as close as they can possibly get to something like that.
It's never gonna be that big.
No.
Did I say it would be?
I'm just saying.
But they can strive to make it as good as they can. And I think they're doing really good. And I just want to say, look, this movie hit all the right spots for me. It had all the nostalgia I ever wanted. It had nostalgia I didn't even think I wanted. And it worked out really well overall.
I definitely agree with that. My thoughts on the special, like I actually really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I was, because I was like, wow, like it's. I was going through the feels with what happened with Trini, and the daughter. Just it was just like, wow, like they did this whole thing was like done so well and so brilliantly that it. I don't know. I honestly don't have words. It was just that good. No, I have to admit the CGI with the Zords were just kind of just like, but
I mean,
maybe it was
okay.
how the arms looked. That's probably what it was. The arms kind of looked kind of funny because I'm so used to having the Megazord, with the, arms like like the arms like kind of like
reminded me of Ganryu from Tekken. Big fat
that's what
suit.
reminds me of.
That's what it looked like for me as Ganryu from Tekken, and it was messing with my head.
I think part of the problem here is that we grew up with a certain image for the Megazords, and nothing is coming close to it. I mean, look at Dimensions in Danger. That Falcon Zord was ugly.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's just a byproduct of they can't make something similar enough to what we grew up with.
I think it's just objectively the suit just looks better than this cheap CG.
I think so, but
Yeah,
I think the budget wasn't there because I think Hasbro loves what they have with the franchise, but the Mighty Morphin movie was kind of a gamble on their part.
Yeah, it does feel like the movie was made on the cheap side.
It had to be because it was a gamble.
Even for Power Ranger standards.
Well, because Power Rangers has never been an expensive show.
No.
Like Sentai has a much bigger budget than Power Rangers.
Well, I mean, okay, think about it, guys. What budget did they really have here? They had to pay for actors, which historically they underpaid them by a lot. Reason why we lost the original 3 to begin with. And literally most of the time it's just them in civilian outfits doing their whatever Angel Grove shenanigans they're up to.
And they dub over.
And then they do some ADR stuff after for the fight scenes, and that's it. They have no special effects, really, except for the teleportation thing and the command center and how that aesthetic is, but that's really cheap as well.
And then sometimes they got to import the suits over for American shots, and that's literally it.
Yeah, but if you watch season 1 right now, I mean, there are times when I wonder how much they actually took from Sentai versus what they did on their own in season 1. And they didn't really take a lot from. They didn't make a lot of stuff on their own in season 1.
Oh no! There's a scene in
not
season
until ZU2.
There are ZU2 shots where you see tape on the Megazord's chest because the suit's falling apart.
But I'm talking the first 40 episodes prior to ZU2.
Oh no, yeah, they imported.
They didn't make a single original fight scene. I don't think.
Not in the Ranger suits, no.
No. The only original stuff they had was them fighting the putties in civilian form, and that's it.
That's literally it.
But literally they catered to get people not catered's not the right word, but they recruited people to be the actors that had martial arts background or some kind of background that would be helpful here. Austin St. John was the big martial artist. Walter had that hip hop keto thing he could do. David Yost wasn't really a fighter, but he didn't need to be.
Oh,
So
also.
we had her martial arts training, because if you read up on her, there's a lot of like she did some kind of martial arts stuff, so she had experience. Amy Jo Johnson had her gymnastics things. I mean, they all had their own like thing to make it easy. There wasn't a lot of training they had to do to
Yeah,
get
David
martial
Yost
arts.
was actually athletic because he did a whole lot of his own, like all of his own stunts, like flipping and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean he's
I know he
athletic, but
was modeling before he did Power Rangers.
Did anyone
dude,
else?
Also
Yeah.
athletic too.
Did anyone else catch in the juice bar when Zach said Min and quoted Mufasa?
And said what?
He said you deliberately disobeyed.
Oh yeah,
He quoted Mufasa.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did say that.
Zach is
Yeah.
He quoted
Mufasa.
But
I
no,
paused that in double take. I was like, "What?"
Deliberately
but
disobeyed.
yeah, I mean also going back to the budget thing, I don't think they paid more than like a couple $100 per episode in the beginning.
That's so bad, and that was a big TV
Like
show.
Walter came out in an interview saying working at McDonald's and working as a ranger was the same kind of money income.
That's disgusting.
Shit, yeah.
So, I mean, historically, the budget has never been high for Power Rangers because they didn't have to. But because Once and Always is the first time we have 100% original everything, I mean, they're gonna struggle a little bit to get it right the first time. And I'm okay with that, honestly.
I do hope that
I hear Mark.
Even looking back, Dimensions in Danger was also original footage, but Legendary Battle was not. Once in the Operation Overdrive stuff was all like a mix of everything. It wasn't all original, but it wasn't all Sentai. Forever Road was original, but yeah, that's Serpentera.
But and also one thing to point out, this was actually a lot more violent than anything we've seen before when it comes to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Because like
Well, they said
they were
die. They said die.
it's
They said
die, death, kill.
Anthony, I'm gonna take your thunder here. Sorry. Simon Bennett had a tweet where he said, and I'll quote, he was asked, "Hey, quick question. Do we assume Trini's body disappeared, exploded, disintegrated after Rita's attack, or was it physically down the hill? I want to keep hope she can come back someday like Zordon somehow." Simon Bennett's response is, her body was vaporized. This moment was originally much more explicit, but we cut it back in the edit out of respect for Trini's memory. An earlier version of the script also had the Demorph Rangers finding Trini's body along with her morpher on the beach below.
Holy! Oh my god!
Yeah.
This is direct from the executive producer.
Oh, I almost said a bad word.
No freaking way. You're welcome.
But yeah, like with that, and
So,
then the place were getting kicked in the face, mind you, kicked in the face. They threw a woman off the cliff and that almost killed her.
Yeah.
The Megazord prison shank snizzard. I mean,
They were not playing around with this. This was not for kids. I mean, you can have kids watching it with you, but it was meant for adults to watch.
But I mean, they had so many adult themes here. They were dealing with revenge in a way that we hadn't dealt with before.
They were dealing with straight up murder.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time a ranger is killed and they stay killed.
Yeah, because the other two that died, Kendricks and Alex, and Zato. Zato died too, right?
Zato died, Kendricks died, Alex died, and the Boom twins died.
Who cares about them?
But they died as well. But in every case, they all come back. And, Alex came back because of time shenanigans. Kendricks came back because her actress beat cancer, and they wanted to have a big hurrah for her at the end. They kind of celebrate that. Yes, I mean, this is the first time we can get dark and mature, and that's because literally we grew up. Like, I've said it before. I started watching this franchise on day one, Day at a Dumpster, the first airing. Like, that was my introduction to Rangers. And I've been watching ever since. So, I grew up with this thing, and so my tastes have gone from the silly, haha, look at that, to, oh, wow, this is really dark, and there's a lot of thematic stuff here that I didn't expect.
Indeed.
I also think that was a benefit of the show moving to Netflix. They could probably
yeah.
They could probably get away with a little bit more darker tone stuff, and I think that's for the better of the series as a whole going forward.
If we look at the Neo Saban era, those were all Mighty Morphin reskinned.
Yeah,
No.
in feeling.
In terms of tone,
No, it was worse. It was worse than anything Mighty Morphin gave.
Well, I mean, it has that
We will
tone. That
not.
doesn't mean it was as good as.
We will not put the Victor and Monty stuff anywhere near level
Look,
with
the only
anything from Mighty Morphin.
The only season of Neo Saban I can kind of tolerate is Dino Charge.
Yeah.
I think what Frankie meant by all that is that they tried to mimic the feel of it, but completely.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's exactly what I. That's exactly what I mean.
Well, okay, Samurai and Megaforce 100%.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs tried to be something a little bit different, and they did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I think they honestly got burned by how many people they had to hire to be actors in that, because how many Rangers we had. So they had to return to form again with Ninja Steel.
And the Beast Morphers got a bit of a.
Well, Beast Morphers is Hasbro.
Yeah, but that was still on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Hasbro took over.
Yeah. But now that we've moved off of children's television, we're on Netflix, which has a variety of different shows.
And I mean,
so Cosmic Fury is going to be interesting.
I mean, okay, so it's not coincidental that my full-on re-entry to the franchise came when they dropped Season 2, Part 2 on Netflix. Because that's the first time we had everything on Netflix.
Yes.
That's not a coincidence. That's just...
Is all of Dino Fury on Netflix?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a shout tomorrow.
You need to. You need to. I think you would enjoy it.
But
for the most part, there may be some things he might not like, but
there's a couple of things he won't like, but overall he's gonna like it.
Well, you guys are bigger PR fans than me, so I'm such a casual.
What a normie.
I will say about this special, it did make you want to buy those remastered Lightning Collection MMPR figures. It makes me want to do that because I don't have
the marketing campaign worked.
The only Lightning Collection figures I have, the only Lightning Collection figures I have, which I've reviewed on Fan, check it out. The Lightning Collection Megazords. That's all I have for Lightning Collection.
Yeah.
I do also want to get the weapons. I want the Power Sword because I missed that in the Legacy Collection.
And I have all 7 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger figures, so that's pretty cool. They're all pretty good.
I'm waiting for the remaster. I'm waiting for the new ones to come out because I think blue and yellow are already out.
Yeah. Might get the remastered. I don't know about that though.
Well, I don't have any of them, so I might as well just get 3.
And you'll get better Kimberly, Zach, and Billy heads. So.
Oh yeah, no. Jason's helmet is so much better on the new one.
I know.
Now, one thing, and this question is directed more to Anthony than you two, because I feel like Anthony will know the answer to this. If there's an answer to be found in the comics. In the Bandora Protocol, you see Astro Megastep, you see Terra Vencer, you see Turtle Cove, and a couple other places, right? Why do we have Osaka, Japan, on the list?
I saw someone on Instagram, a guy I follow, Blaze Toys, suggests that it might have been because Osaka, Japan, is where what's his name? Ollie's mom was based for research at the end of Dino Fury.
But
But
the
that
thing
wouldn't be a
is,
reason. Yeah.
but the thing is, if you look back at the list of places that they called, and you cross-reference that with the Rangers captured at the end, and like the 10 Rangers we have on the stands, they're a perfect one-to-one matching. If you assume that Tanya and the Phantom Ranger count as part of Mighty Morphin's group in a sense.
Well, they're part of that same continuity.
Right.
Mhm.
So I will take Tanya and Phantom Ranger as being part of the continuity
Angel
and
Grove.
falling in line with the Mighty Morphin crew more than anything else.
Because Mighty Morphin leads into Zeo, which is Turbo. So.
Right. But literally, they call out the Wall Force home base, they call out the In Space team, Lost Galaxy, Dino Thunder, and Beast Morphers. There is not a location on that list that is not represented in that set of people kidnapped, except for Osaka.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you that because I have no idea.
I was
There was
hoping that it was something to do with the Omega Ranger or something. I was hoping you were going to tell me that.
Maybe it's
Oh,
just
no.
maybe it's just something called the Bandora Protocol, which is Bandora Zeo Ranger. Maybe it's
But-
just a Sentai reference.
Yeah,
No, but
I
the
was
Sentai
literally
takes
thinking
place
the
in
same
Tokyo.
thing.
The Sentai takes place in Tokyo, right?
It really depends.
It's
Like, I
never-
mean, there are some, like, it takes place all over Japan. Like there's a lot of Sentai, especially some older ones, where they might often, like, travel to, like, different areas of Japan. Like, I remember one where they, like, travel to, like, a Fukushima area, which is actually the town where my wife is from. But yeah.
Mhm.
It's not just necessarily Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for that one alone, I could not tell you because they did not specify that anywhere in anything I've seen or read so far when it comes to Rangers.
Yeah. It was a long shot. It's been bugging me for about a week and a half now.
I'm actually Googling it because it's gonna. The
It's gonna
only
bug
thing I
you.
can- Oh yeah, no, it's just a reference to.
Yeah.
It's
Reference
just
to what?
It's just a Sentai reference. That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
I do want to say that, like, when it comes to some of the writing, like, I honestly, like, the story behind how Robo Rita exists, I honestly really like that. I kind of explained this
That was
earlier,
dark.
like, so Billy wants to revive Zordon. And in the command center, he apparently manages to find remnants of the Z-Wave. But the stuff within the Z-Wave is the evil of Rita. And when he tries to revive Zordon, instead, that evil reanimates into Robo Rita. Like, not only is that dark, as Rich said, but that is, like, that type of writing quality in Power Rangers feels like it's illegal, to be honest. Like, that works perfectly.
Yeah.
I adore the writing of this.
And honestly, I'm very happy they went this route rather than what I expected him to do. I expected him to say that Robo Rita was created by Lord Zed, because Lord Zed's out there gallivanting in the cosmos, and I figured Scrozzle made Robo Rita to send back to Earth to do shenanigans.
That would have pissed me off.
Like, I was expecting it, because that's what they do normally, but no, they made a legit good story to explain why Alpha 8 wasn't there and why we had Alpha 9.
They killed poor Alpha 8. All right.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like this is the best writing I've seen in Power Rangers in a while. And sure, are there other plot holes? Yes, but the plot holes to me are kind of like on par with some of the plot holes that I saw with Forever Red. You can see them, but I can
What
ignore
plot
them.
holes do you really have?
I mean,
aside from the Catherine and the Putty's turkey comment.
That was.
I mean,
funny.
if you want to be technical about it, I mean, we've already brought it up. Like, how are the Dinozords there when they were destroyed, and how do they have their powers back? But there's explanations for it.
But they answered that with Billy recreating everything.
You're right.
I mean,
so
It's just one of those things that Power Rangers always does. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
question it.
see, when you say plot hole, when I hear the word plot hole in the sense of Power Ranger, I'm going to assume you're saying, "Oh, how did X Ranger get their powers back?" That's not explained. It makes no sense. Like in Legendary Battle, there are whole teams of Rangers who I don't understand how they got their powers back.
If there's anything in Power Rangers plot hole, it's Thrax. Okay.
But
honestly, I think you can explain it in a very simple matter of the powers just permanently exist in the morphing grid. You just need to connect those powers to a device.
That's exactly. The morphing grid just does everything.
It is.
Just make a new coin and connect the coins to the powers that the original coins drew from, and you're good to go.
But see, the thing is, like, Billy, canonically, I think, can be attributed to being the one to revive the power coins, because if he can make proxy power coins for Rocky and Cat, that has to imply that he made the new power coins that they're using for the OG team.
Why wasn't Ninjor there?
Why would he be?
Because he created the power coins.
But Billy is basically the new Zordon and Ninjor all rolled into one.
I'm saying if Billy knows how to do it, they don't need Ninjor.
But I want Ninjor. We haven't
You
seen
want Ninjor Helix.
I don't worry about that, okay?
Oh god, he's returned.
I just wish there was a reference to Ninjor somewhere. Ninjor's the man, alright?
He was like still stuck in that freaking like pot thing that he was stuck in.
Ninjor lives in my head rent free, okay?
He's like, hello, everyone.
I want to zap Ninjor, and I want it now.
He's like, hello, Tommy.
No, Frankie, I want a Ninjor, but a Zord quality one that can transform into that other form he had.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway, I think at this point we're going so far off the rails.
Yeah,
I feel like Otaku Sentai Stitchy Ranger.
Yeah, you're right. Let me stop.
Because you're here.
The last thought I wanted to put in was I thought I caught a fun Easter egg, but it ended up being a plot thing. So we were talking about like the crack that happened in Zordon's tube that the evil Rita energy escaped from and corrupted the Alpha. Before they revealed that, they were standing in front of the crack tube. I thought that crack was how Andros broke Zordon's tube, and they just found
you and I both.
So did I, actually.
I thought that was the crack that Andros cut the tube. And it was like, no. I was kind of hoping that was the case.
That would have been cool, actually.
Yeah.
But
the awkward moment of like freaking Andros just going, "Hey, here's the
guys, I record on."
I felt like I had to bring this back to somebody.
I will say, look, I have two things in closing thoughts here. The first one is I absolutely 100% hate all these people like Screen Rant and CBR and all the other websites out there with these clickbait articles with no substance or anything that are trying to make a quick buck off of this movie with their views, because they're putting out all kinds of garbage that has no substantiation whatsoever.
Yeah, you should be used to that
Screen
by now.
Rant, they are so bad with that, especially with Dragon Ball.
Oh, you want to hear how bad they are? I put it on Twitter the other day. So I read one of the Screen Rant articles where they're talking about Alpha and the Alpha appearances over the years. And they mention, Wild Force, Overdrive, and Dino Force.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like,
wah, wah.
What is Dino Force? That's not a real season.
Is Screen Rant the channel that does the pitch meeting thing?
I think
he's doing his own thing now. I don't think he's technically with Screen Rant anymore. He's doing his own he has his own channel with the pitch meetings.
Okay, cool. Because that guy is funny.
Oh yeah.
But the sentiment of some of these clickbait articles I want them to have come true is I hope Once and Always sparks a renaissance of new content circling around the Mighty Morphin team, or at least men in some way. Like I want a movie set 10 years from now with Min and JJ and some of the other successors to the Mighty Morphin Powers kind of taking over the power. I think a movie like that would be pretty cool.
Like a Young Avengers type thing.
Yeah.
Can we get Can we get an anniversary for Power Rangers in Space, please?
Please.
Everybody's been asking about that. I don't.
I mean, okay, so I know it's our favorite season, and I know it has a lot of potential to come back and do something cool. But if I'm gonna ask for a sequel / specialist something, I'm asking for Time Force.
I think
Oh,
Time
yeah.
Force would work a lot better just because, like, literally every single Time Force Ranger, for better or worse, is involved in the fandom. So,
Yeah, because Patricia's not involved in space, like from in space anymore.
No.
So I would want.
I want a
want Time
sequel.
Force.
I want a sequel to Overdrive just to make Patrick upset.
well, Patrick's.
Yeah, I would be the only person getting upset if they did that.
Yeah, I'm going to be pretty upset about that too.
I'd watch it, but I'd be watching it angrily the entire time.
Exactly.
I would just be angry
It's like
that
watching-
they gave that scumbag Samuel Binta another opportunity to come back to the show.
Look, if they could make a Winnie the Pooh horror movie, they could make an Operation Overdrive sequel. Okay,
I'd be
I actually
sitting
want to
there.
watch that.
I'd be
I've
sitting
seen it.
there
It's
with
incredible.
I'd be sitting there with a soda in my hand with this snarl on my face, listening to the god awful remix of the Overdrive theme.
I'd have to. I would need like an 8 and a bottle of vodka just to get through it.
Worse, what if they use Samuel Binta's demo theme?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
okay, all right. I need to stop.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't want to listen. I didn't want hearing anymore anyway.
I don't want my ears to work.
I wouldn't mind.
Another thing I liked about the movie that we haven't talked about, when Min is blasted by Rita, and she starts to get up, and her eyes flash to Trini's memories. That was really cool too. I love that.
Yeah, that was the high point of the special.
I also liked what she called for its morphing time, and my god,
Huh?
What?
did I
cut
die?
out a little bit.
You
Yeah.
died for a second.
Okay, so I got it. You reminded me of something. The morphing sequence looked terrible. Oh my god!
I have opinions on some of those. How they look. Like
Like
I feel like-
especially the end when Rocky turns the Red Ranger. Oh my god!
yeah, that's what I.
The special effects, we've talked about that already, but they're kind of jank.
The fact that they look
Which is
better in the
weird
original show than here bugs me.
I mean, and it's weird because Hasbro's actually done a pretty good job with the morphing sequences. Because I mean, Dino Fury's morphing sequence is great looking.
and that looks really cool.
phenomenal.
But so
Even Beast Morphers just look pretty
yeah.
cool.
But this is a simple, like zoom in with the kind of like grid texture over his face into the suit. But I don't know why it looks so bad.
It does.
I'll tell you why it looks bad. I've put a lot of thought into this one. So the reason specifically that Rocky's looks bad is the angling they did of him in the photo or the video clip they used of him. Like the way his arms are angled and the way his face is like tilted. It's not the most flattering look for him, honestly.
But in the suit, when he turns to the Red Ranger, the suit looks terrible in that shot. Ugh.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's like they tried to recreate all those shots, but there's something about them that wasn't clean.
I mean, they should have honestly gone with the campy 90s one.
I wouldn't have minded if they reused Adams from Overdrive. That one was pretty.
From Overdrive?
Yeah, I thought Adams from Overdrive was pretty solid.
It was, and I thought they were going to do it too, but also they don't have the rights to the Disney special effects, probably.
They own the whole franchise, so.
Well, there's still stuff contractually that I think is off limits that they can and cannot do. Because when Disney owned it, they couldn't use the original Mighty Morphin stuff for Adam to morph.
The fact that they couldn't use the theme song is just ridiculous.
Though I will say, the Adam theme song in Operation Overdrive was not bad.
How do we keep going to Operation Overdrive? This is my fault.
What?
We keep going back to Operation Overdrive, and it's my fault, and I hate it for us.
I mean, it is your fault. I'll give you that.
My cat also blames me. That's why he's swatting at
me. He's telling you to shut up.
Yeah, thanks, Gizmo. Love you too, buddy.
Yeah.
Gizmo, what are your final thoughts, buddy? He says meow.
His thoughts are, I am cat.
We want to.
I am
What do we each want to give this anniversary special out of 10, guys?
I'll go first. I think I have the most negative opinion on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
I called that.
I didn't hate it, but I watched it and I was like, okay. Just the whole time I was like, okay, this is fine. But I had no desire to rewatch it. I'm glad I saw it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm probably gonna get.
I'm
Go
going.
ahead, Riz. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm probably gonna give it. I'm gonna give it an 8. I recognize the problems that Patrick and Frankie have with it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too high on nostalgia for it. Plus, I think the writing that they had for it was actually a lot better than what I'm used to in Power Rangers, which is why I'm going to give it an 8. But I just really hope that they make some more anniversary specials and maybe the quality can go up afterward. Like maybe they've tested the waters with this, and they can do more anniversary specials of quality.
I would be open to a sequel if they ever decide to do one. I would be open
to. They need a sequel. I'm gonna do this in a different way. What do y'all think my score is based on what I've been saying?
I'm gonna say 8 for you.
8.
Yeah.
So, Nostalgic Riz wants to give it a 9. Common Sense Riz wants to give it an 8. So I'm gonna stop it at 8.5.
No, we were close.
And the reason I'm knocking down some points from it from a 10 is mainly the CGI and the Megazord.
Yeah.
Like if the Megazord is better, I would honestly have no qualm giving this a 10.
Damn. Come on, Hasbro. Do better. Do better with your Megazords, bro.
It sucks too because the cockpit actually looks pretty cool of that.
Oh, yeah,
that cockpit is amazing. I loved it.
Eh.
Also, can we talk about how Billy is in the leader seat in the cockpit?
Because I was expecting Rocky in the middle because the Red Ranger. So that was
right.
I always liked that though,
And
because I
also,
always thought that Billy should have been second in command after Jason left. Jason, Zach, and Trini.
Yeah, I think he wasn't he?
Oh, Kimberly kind of was. I don't know. It was weird, because there's I've been watching multiple times where after Jason, Zach, and Trini have left, where the main 5 Rangers morph without Tommy, and there's one time where Rocky calls the morph, it's Morphin Time, but then there's 2 times where Kimberly calls it. I think Kimberly was ranked ahead of Billy after Jason, Zach, and Trini left.
Because I think when Jason was the leader, Zach was second.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when
Yep.
And then when Tommy was the leader, who knows?
Depends on who Tommy was with at the time.
I know it was
Jason. First Jason.
When Tommy, it was Jason.
Then it was Kimberly, and then when Kimberly left, it was Billy.
Yeah.
All right.
But then when Billy left
It
and
was
became a
Jason,
civilian,
it was Rocky, and then it was Jason when Jason became.
yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we figured this out as a group.
Go
we have anything else we
team.
want to say, guys?
Go Power Rangers.
Aye.
All right. Well, in that case, we, for the most part, once and always. I mean, it wasn't bad, but hopefully Hasbro can give us some more anniversary specials that are of a higher quality. Because I think Hasbro, you've proven that you can do this. So maybe just try to put in put in a little bit more effort next time with at least the budget. That is, the writing is good.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to be encouraged to do it because, as of at least this recording, I think it's still in the top 10 on Netflix even now, like for most watched.
The reception is generally positive. So.
Oh yeah, the only people who don't like it is basically Frankie.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just wasn't blown away.
Yeah. No, but most everyone I've seen has given a positive opinion of it. Very few people have said anything negative. And those that have said anything negative are talking mainly about, oh, well, I want Jason and Kimberly back, and it's because they're not here. I'm not watching it, or I want Tommy back.
Yes.
Well, you can't have Tommy back. It's not possible.
Yes.
Well, the thing that
Super
people have
nostalgia
to,
people. Yeah.
the thing people have to realize is, I'm not going to get into it here, out of respect for JDF, and because we're really running low on time.
It's been on 2 hours now.
Something like that. But there's some behind the scenes stuff that made JDF decide to sever ties with Hasbro and Power Rangers prior to his death.
That's a video for another day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make that video. I will tell you guys offline, but yeah. People need to respect JDF's decision to not be part of the movie, and they need to respect Amy Jo Johnson's reason for not being part of the movie. Because Amy Jo Johnson, despite not putting the suit back on, is penning a new set of comics for Boom Studios right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she's still very much involved and cares about the fans, but I don't think she wants to wear the suit. I don't think she wants to get back on front of the camera because she's not an actress. She's now a director and a writer. So we have to accept that and be okay with it. And also, Catherine's a really good Pink Ranger, so I have no qualms here at all.
Oh, no, I like Catherine. But
that was my little soapbox because I'm frustrated with our fandom who say
I've run out of steam.
Well, at least the Power Rangers fandom isn't as bad as the Star Wars fandom, Riz.
Or the Sonic fandom. Oh my god.
no, Star Wars is
Star
worse
Wars
than
is
Sonic.
the worst fandom ever.
Easily.
Yeah. But that's a podcast for a different time. Actually, that's kind of a shameless plug for a podcast that Riz and I and maybe Anthony occasionally will be doing. Anyway, with that being said, we thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to us. If you haven't seen Once and Always, check it out and get your own opinions. Leave your opinions down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, then be sure to comment down below with any thoughts you might have on Once and Always. We'll always take your opinions and read them out if we find stuff that stands out to us. Next time, well, first we're going to be posting our review that we've already done for Quad S Gridman, the anime, just to wrap up our Gridman thing. Then after that, we are going to be doing a full season review of Mighty Morphin Season 1 in order to jump us into reviewing Patrick's very favorite Sentai in the whole wide world, Kyoryu Sentai Geo Ranger.
Oh my god, shut up.
Patrick, it'll be the best Sentai we've ever watched.
His favorite Sentai and his favorite season is over. Yeah.
But with that said, we thank you guys so much for taking the time to check us out. Be sure to check us out everywhere on social media. And we thank you guys once again so much for watching us. We love you guys. So you guys stay safe. And we will see you guys next time when we review Quad S Gridman. But until that time, we'll see you later.